Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. I wish I was coming onto the show with you guys about something a little bit lighter, but I have some not so great news. And you know, we've been covering these kind of stories quite a bit because they just keep on happening, y'all. They keep on happening. And this one, I mean, they all feel the same. They all still hurt. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what situation, if it's a mall, if it's a gathering of people, if it's a school, if it's a high school, if it's a college, it all still hurts the exact same. And it all frustrates me the exact same. It still attacks me in a very visceral way. And yeah, man, here we go. We got another one, but this time now we got kids. Man, we talking about kids, y'all. Babies. So we got to talk about it, guys. I keep thinking that maybe, I'm just a guy with a microphone, right? But I keep thinking that maybe if I talk about these things enough, maybe these people that are thinking about doing the unthinkable might hear this show, might hear anybody else who talks about this, who covers these kinds of stories. Maybe they'll think twice before picking up that weapon and going and doing the unthinkable. Okay, the most heartbreaking thing that I could ever talk about, and now we're talking about kids again. Kids, babies. I'm not talking about teens. I'm talking about kids. These kids didn't even have a chance to live their lives. It puts a certain kind of anger in one's heart. I'm sorry. When I first got this news, I'll say this in a second. We got to get into this. I'm sorry. This is just throwing me off. Please forgive me, guys, because I had just found out new information before starting this live, and it really attacked my soul, okay? It got me emotionally, all right? But the only way that we can help make change, the only way we can help make things stop like this is by sharing, by putting the story out there, talking about it, etc., bringing awareness to this thing. So if you guys can do me a favor, hit that like button down below, send it past 300 likes. This is breaking news as we speak. Hit that like button. It helps with the algorithm. It gets the story out there, just like the story that we talked about last night. Please do the same for this one. These families deserve justice. Of course, we already know what has happened with this monster that did this thing, but at the same time, justice goes beyond just this person no longer being here or being locked up. You see what I'm saying? This is also prevention from something like this happening again. And these happen way too often. So please hit that like button down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Also, if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. You know your boy's working hard out here in these streets, whether it's jovial or devastating like this kind of news. You know, I'm here to give you guys the stories. And this one just angers me, guys. This one just angers me. Oh, and make sure you hit that notification bell, because a lot of times I'm going live randomly. Like right now, this is very random because this is just breaking as we speak. Okay, I had something completely different planned to talk to you guys about. And then, of course, because you guys are amazing, you guys are messaging me, you guys are mentioning or tagging me in things on Twitter and all that. So I'm getting all the notifications and I see this breaking and I'm like, oh my Lord. All right, this story can wait for a few hours while we talk about this right now, because our children are in trouble. And I'm not trying to be a fear mongerer. I'm not trying to do anything of that sort. I'm just keeping it reals. Okay. I'm keeping it straight funky. Our kids are in serious trouble, and it has these bullets don't care what age our kids are, what race, what creed, doesn't matter. They don't care. But it feels like there are more and more bullets with our kids' names on them. I said it. I don't care, because it's the doggone truth. We got monsters going into elementary schools, y'all. Elementary schools. And you see the title down below. So I already have not so great, bad, terrible, devastating news to give you guys. At first, there was several injured, but now we have heard 3 have perished. 3 little kids from an elementary school by the name of Covenant Elementary School in Nashville, Tennessee. It is a Christian private school. Allegedly, this monster goes into the school and opens fire on a bunch of staff and students. 3 lives have been claimed so far. And, you know, the more I tell these kinds of stories, the more we talk about these kinds of devastating situations, it doesn't get any easier, guys. As much as you think that it might desensitize one person, I got to be completely real with y'all. It doesn't get any easier. It doesn't get any easier. And I know that there's more information starting to come out as time goes on. I'm going to give you guys as much updates as I can with everything. Okay. Nashville, you know, like Caesar just said, before we go into everything, Caesar just said, OMG, I grew up in Nashville. This angers me. Yeah. You know, as much as I've said it before, the probability of a mass tragedy like this happening in your neck of the woods is coming. The way that the probabilities are absolutely high that eventually there will be some sort of mass tragedy in your neck of the woods at some point in your lifetime. Why? Because these kinds of things still happen almost every other week. We just talked about another mass tragedy just the other week. And now we're talking about another one. That one was a different situation, but now we're talking about a completely different one where we have children. We have children getting aimed at. So let's get into this, guys. And I'm hearing, you know, Lisa, where did I see that? Lisa Lapp, thank you so much. Apparently there's 2 adults that have lost their lives as well. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. We got some things to get into, so I appreciate you guys just rocking with me, because I literally had just gotten alerts about this, pulled this up, was grabbing as much information as I could get that my grubby little hands could get possession of. Obviously, there's more information coming out here very, very soon, but we're getting what we got right now, okay? So I'm going to give you what I have so far, and this is kind of a thing where we're this breaking story, we're going to be kind of rolling with it and going with the flow as a family, okay? Because this is still just brand spanking new information, brand spanking news. Okay. So let's just take a look at this title and this article really quick. 3 children are gone, shot, gone by a monster at Nashville Christian School. Suspect aimed, okay, opened fire before their life was taken by cops. Okay? So let's get into this because I know a lot of y'all want to know the details of what exactly went down here. And this is the information we have so far. I got a bunch of windows open. We're going to be going through this as much as we can to find out as much as we can. And if you are a parent, let me just say this again, or say this really quick. If you are a parent that has a child that matriculates at this elementary school, the Covenant School, okay, please go out there, get your child if you didn't know yet. And I also want to say my heart, thoughts, prayers, everything, all my positive energy, everything I can even give you guys right now. I am with you spiritually, mentally, emotionally right now. I can only imagine what those kids are going through right now. And my heart goes out to the families that have lost their kids and the ones that are fighting for their lives in the hospital right now. This hurts my soul so much, guys. This one hurts my soul so much. All right, let's get into this. I wish this stuff would stop, y'all. I really wish this stuff would stop. But here's some details. At least 3 children have been aimed at, okay, and have lost their lives at their private Christian elementary school in Nashville. The incident took place at the Covenant School on the outskirts of the city shortly after 10:30 a.m. today, this Monday morning. After the lives of these 3 children were taken, the gunman was taken. His life was taken by police. He has not been named, and I hope they name this mother lover really, really soon. But let me show you some of these photos. I mean, these are not great photos, as you can see, but you can see a lot of kids. I mean, if you can make out, it's really, really shoddy photography, but understandably, this is all shot from the hip type photography. And I'm sure this was like processed and reshared a billion times, but you can see a bunch of kids, single file line on their way out to safety during this situation, of course. So far, we know still, just to repeat that again, 3 children have lost their lives so far. And from what I hear from Lisa Lapp, I have not heard anything about anything other than the 3 students. But if there are 2 adults that have lost their lives as well, I'm sure they're going to be giving us some sort of update here in one of these articles very, very soon. But I have yet to hear that or read that in any of the articles that I've found so far. Okay. But you can see, families, people consoling each other, especially their children, after this whole situation. I mean, imagine what's going on in those little kids' heads as well. Okay. And hold on. Nat A just said, I'm watching interview now. What interview, Nat A? What is it? So we can look into it. It's on Fox News right now. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Thank you, guys. See, like I said, this is why we do this as a family, because there's a lot that we don't know. So I'm going to try to get this information for you guys right now with as a family really quick. Okay. They already know this monster's gone. Okay. Monster is gone, but he is no longer on this planet. They have not yet identified this person so far that I know of. What? Wait, what? What? It's a teen girl? What? Oh, have mercy. Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. That's new. What? A female? See, times they are changing. Like, what the hell, y'all? Hold up. Let me get some stuff here, guys. Okay, please just give me 2 seconds. I appreciate y'all for being here, being a part of the conversation. We're going to be watching this as a family. Please be sure to hit that like button down below. Share some love if you can. Share this feed, etc. Let me get this. I'm going to try to roll this back a little bit so we can see the press conference, if that's what you're talking about. Okay, if that's what you guys are alluding to, because I got it, but it's doing its buffering thizang. Okay, so just give me 2 seconds. We're going to roll this back a tiny bit so we can hear what the heck has been going on here. Okay, 1 second, guys. Come on, man.
Law enforcement overview of what's happened this morning. With me is Kendra Loney from the Nashville Fire Department, who will talk about the fire department's actions in regard to this morning's call. This is going to be a brief update as to what has occurred. There will be more from this spot
What the
later,
hell?
in the morning with Chief John Drake and
3 adults now?
the Nashville Police Department.
There we go.
I'm going to give you a law enforcement overview of what's happened this morning.
Real quick, I'm sorry. We're going to play this, I promise you. Oh, my Lord. This is so bad. Wait. So it's not a teen girl. It's a 27-year-old woman that went in there and pulled the trigger? Went pew, pew. Wow. I don't know yet. Let's hear what they got to say really quick before we, you know what I mean? What? I don't get it. Yeah, some people are saying she was a teenager. Some of y'all are saying that she was in her 20s. Let's hear what they got to say here really quick. Okay. This is wild. Hit the number 1 to make sure you guys can hear this. This is as high, as loud as I can get it. Let me make sure this volume is up too. All right. So let's rock and roll. Hit the number 1. Make sure to let me know you guys can hear this. Let's rock and roll. Man.
With me is Kendra Loney from the Nashville Fire Department, who will talk about the fire department's actions in regard to this morning's call. This is going to be a brief update as to what has occurred. There will be more from this spot later in the morning with Chief John Drake and others. At 10:13 this morning, the police department received a call of an active shooter inside Covenant School, Covenant Presbyterian Church. The police department response was swift. Officers entered the first story of the school, began clearing it. They heard shots coming from the second level. They immediately went to the gunfire. When the officers got to the second level, they saw a shooter, a female, who was firing. The officers engaged her. She was fatally shot.
Okay. This monster was female. I just want to make that abundantly clear. We know that this woman, or this piece of work, was actually female. My Lord. Okay, let's continue. Wow. Because you notice that other article I was reading, they were saying male. They said he will be identified, or he has not been identified yet. And of course, it's easy for us to automatically assume it's the monster is male, but apparently this monster is in fact female. Now we're going to continue. Hopefully they're going to give us more information about age and whatnot. Okay, let's continue.
By responding police officers. There was a 5-member team who was on the second floor at that time. 2 individuals from that 5-member team opened fire on the shooter. We know at this point that this shooter is a female. She appears to be in her teens, although her identification has not been confirmed at this juncture.
Appears to be.
We know that she was armed with at least 2 assault-type rifles and a handgun. We are efforting now to identify her.
2.
She entered the school through a side entrance and traversed her way from the first floor to the second floor, firing multiple shots.
Have mercy.
We now know that there are 3 students who were fatally wounded as well as 3 adults inside the school. We are working to identify those victims, including the shooter. A total of 7 persons were killed as a result of this morning's incident at the school. By 10:27, the shooter was deceased. The officers had engaged the shooter by 10:27, and she was deceased. Again, I said the first call came in at 10:13 this morning. We'll have more details to give you later in the morning. Chief Drake will be here in a bit. Now,
real quick. So this monster, she had 2 assault rifles and a couple other weapons as well. We now know that they say she appeared to be a teenager, but they don't know yet because they haven't looked at her ID, or her ID has not been put out there yet. The other thing, too, is that 7 people now have lost their lives. That's what they're saying. 7 lives are gone. That includes the 3 children that lost their lives as well. You know, this makes me think of Uvalde. Remember the monster that walked into Uvalde? I mean, there was much more casualties than what happened here. But at the same time, same thing. Walked into a side entrance, walked into a classroom, and just started opening fire. Now we got almost the same kind of situation here. Except this time, this monster's female. Let's continue.
Now Kendra Loney from Nashville Fire.
Fire department crews are dispatched for active shooter incidents as well, for medical support, but also for an RTF response, which is a rescue task force response to go in alongside of MNPD response. Our crews were right there on the scene to provide medical aid to any survivors, but also be there for victims so that we could try life-saving efforts in this case. So we went in as soon as it was safe for our responders to do so, to try to provide life-saving efforts for those that were impacted by this incident and this tragedy. Our crews were able to be on scene to pull out those that had viable signs of life, those that were still showing the option to be saved. And we did make transport of 3 individuals and 3 children, and then 2 adults that were taken from the scene. Our crews then set up a reunification unit. That reunification unit is at 2100 Woodmont Boulevard. That's where parents can go to be reunited with their children. All of the remaining students were able to be escorted out of the building with faculty and staff. We're not sure about the processes that they had in place, but we were on scene to help them mitigate anyone from seeing exactly what else was going on, but we're sure that they heard the chaos that was surrounding this. So we do have mental health specialists and professionals that are at that reunification site for both the students and the families that are going to be affected by this today. Our OEM units were able to provide buses to make transport from the Covenant School to the reunification site. We had one bus that carried 74 students and faculty staff members to the reunification site, and an additional bus that had 34 students on them. So all of those persons were carried. It was difficult for us to kind of identify who was just there as part of staff for the church versus who was there for the school, because it's all housed in one building. But at this time, we were able to get that number of persons transported out of the building and into that reunification site. So that is where parents can go to be reunited with their students. There is a hotline being set up for parents to call But right now, that is where they should go, 2100 Woodmont Boulevard, which is Woodmont Baptist Church. Additionally, we do have a debriefing site set up for on-staff or personnel who are working this incident, and there are mental health professionals set up there for them as well. There was one police officer that was injured with a hand injury as a result of making an attack on this incident. But other than that, there have been no additional injuries to first responders or personnel responding to this. And as Don mentioned earlier, we will have further updates coming later on in the afternoon.
So on a typical day, there would be about 209 students inside the school and approximately 40 to 50 staff members, about 42 staff members. I'll take just a couple of questions before we go back.
So really quick, on the lower third right here, it says 3 adults, 3 children gone. That's what it says. But we just heard them say 7. So I'm a little confused here. Is it 6 or 7?
Dead, and then nature of injuries, how many injured do you know that maybe are being treated still, or injuries? I know first responders weren't. But...
An officer had a wound from cut glass. That is the only other injury that I'm aware of.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold up. Yes, JDR. Yes, it sounds like a smaller school. Okay, definitely a smaller school. But so he's basically saying there, from what he knows so far, there are no other injuries except for a cop. Thank you. I'm sorry. I keep on messing that up. You're right. Eternity. Thank you so much. You're right. You're right. That includes the suspect. Sorry about that. So 6 plus the shooter. Okay. Sorry. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you for that correction. I'm like, how does that work? Right. The math is still right, but I wasn't. Yeah. They're separating the victims from the actual monster. So I do understand that. But they're also saying that apparently from this this officer here, they're basically saying the only injury that they have right now that he can account for is an officer that got cut from glass. That's it. So this monster was successful in what she went in to do. Every person that she pointed that assault rifle at no longer lives. That's absolutely heartbreaking. But also, if that's true, that's absolutely heartbreaking. Of course, this has only happened a few hours ago. This whole incident, this whole tragedy happened only a few hours ago. So, of course, this gentleman here is only giving us the information that he knows so far. Obviously, this is ongoing. This is still developing. But as we know, this is also including the suspect, 7 people have lost their lives in this particular tragedy. But without the suspect involved, 3 children and 3 adults are no longer alive, just so you guys know. Okay, so let's continue.
Injuries to the students, are they critical or critical condition?
The 3 students are deceased. The 3 students who were shot are deceased. 3 staff members who were shot are deceased. That's a total of 6 victims. And then you have the shooter who was engaged by 2 of our police officers, part of a 5-member team, and she is deceased for a total of 7 individuals. There are no other gunshot victims, non-lethal, that I'm aware of at present.
Do you know how many people were shot? Do you know how many people were shot before the police engaged the shooter?
No.
Do you know if they shot anyone after they engaged the shooter? Do you know if the shooter was able to shoot anyone else?
Does the shooter have any connection to the school that we know of?
We do not know who she is at this juncture. We're trying to identify her. She does appear to be in her teens. Again, with 2 assault-type rifles and at least 1 pistol.
Do we know if their lives are
witness recent incidents that come to the school or the church?
No, I'm not.
Was there an SRO or an SSO working at the school?
No, this is a church that operates a private school. There was no Metro Police personnel assigned to that building at any time.
Okay, and you heard that lady in the back behind this officer here asking, hey, was there an SRO? Was there any security? A school cop, basically. And his response was, this is a church that runs a school. Okay, let me just say this really quick. I don't care if it's a public school. I don't care if it's the most private of private schools. Danger still goes to wherever it wants to. It seems to we already know the devil, evil, evildoers, all that seem to find a way to slip through the cracks and do some very, very big things, very, very damaging things to other people's lives, period. So it doesn't matter if these are God-fearing schools, God-loving schools, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter if they're parochial or public. All schools, I'm just going to say it now, all schools should be, they should be stocking up on security, metal detectors. They think that the evil only goes to public schools. I'm telling you right now, it does not. We already know now. This is a Christian school, elementary school for little kids. For the future, for the children, the future of this world, the future of Nashville. And now they're not here. And let me say this too. I'm not sitting here knocking the school. I'm not on the decisions whether or not to have security or not. I'm not. I'm just saying this is a huge, massive wake-up call for all schools, all of them. And maybe a lot of these parochial schools thought that, oh, they're untouchable because we got God on our side type of thing. He'll protect us. They're only going after public schools. The real mental health issues and all that are, and where they're targeting are public schools. Hell no, they are not. Evil will lurk wherever it can. So they really need to stock up on security, etc., on all schools. Okay? These bullets are equal opportunists. All they want to see is the color red. They don't care. All right? I just want to say that really quick. I mean, I'm just hoping that this wakes up a lot of other schools right now. Wake up, y'all. Wake up, wake up, wake up. We got to stop this from happening. And if it means, our kids are going to feel like they're prisoners. First off, they already feel like they're prisoners because they go to school. School feels like prison. It is what it is. But at the same time, I'd rather have my children safe than my children be in harm's way every single day because they're not using safety precautions or they're not going along with the times. And the times right now are screaming at us that we have a serious need for focus on security within our schools, period, point blank. This school was just sitting there wide open. And of course, they probably thought it would never happen here. Never. But guess what? It did. So now the question is, what is this school going to do from this point on? Because we got kids now that are not only survivors, thank God, but they're also absolutely terrified of going back to that school. So what are they going to do to make sure that these kids come back and know for a fact that they know that they're going to be safe from this point on? Again, just because majority of these mass tragedies have happened in public schools does not mean that these private schools, parochial schools, are impenetrable. That is insane to think. I just have to say that. Even my dog concurs. Let's continue.
John, do you know if either of the two adults that were shot maybe confronted the gun?
You said two?
Yeah, the adults that were
No,
shot.
there are a total of three adults.
Three adults.
Three adults who have been fatally wounded.
Okay, one of them being the shooter?
No.
No, okay, three total. Do you
So
know
let me go over this again. You have a total of 6 victims, 3 students who are deceased, and 3 adult staff members from the school who are deceased. The shooter herself makes 7.
Do you know if one of the 3 adults maybe confronted her?
I do not.
The teachers.
There is video from the school that we are viewing now to try to learn exactly how all of this happened.
Can you say where the victims were located? Were they in the hallway, in a classroom?
I cannot at this juncture, as you know, 5 of the 6 were transported. So we will get that information later in the day.
Did police engage with the shooter inside a classroom or in the hallway? Do we know the location?
It is an upper level part of the school. It's kind of a lobby type area. It was not in a classroom per se. All right, we'll be back shortly with more detail. We'll tweet out, give you a 15-minute or so notice before the next one, okay?
All right, so we are going to get another update throughout the day right here on Live Now from Fox. Just learning the big update there coming from police here. So let's just recap here what we learned, and then for those of you maybe coming into the news conference, maybe in the just past the beginning, middle portion, or the end, we will replay that for you coming up here in just moments. But want to just give a quick recap. So the suspect is a female, where police say that she could possibly be in her teens. They're still working to get the identification there of that suspect, but it was a female believed to be in her teens. She was carrying 2 assault type rifles and 1 pistol to the school. She made her way from a side entrance in the school and went from the lower level to the upper level shooting. And we have learned that 3 students have been declared dead from that shooting, as well as 3 adults. Now, on a normal Monday, there would be 209 students roughly at the school, 42 staff members. And we learned there of the situation being played out there, a horrific nature of a female entering the school to do the most damage that she could and try to destroy as many lives as possible. And that is what has happened here. 6 dead in total, 3 of them being students, 3 of them being adults there, and just 1 officer was injured, but no others were shot there. Others than the ones that have been pronounced dead. We are now giving you a live look right here at the aerials of this school here at Covenant that is run by the church there, the Covenant Presbyterian Church. Let's listen to officials there. We are going to recap it right here from the beginning for you, right here on Live Now from Fox, so you didn't miss anything right here.
More from this spot later.
So let me, because of course, you know, this is a few minutes behind. This isn't as live as, you know, because I had to stop it and talk and all that stuff. But we're going to play a little bit more, of course, so you guys, for those of y'all who are late to the party, know what's going on. But from what we understand, and of course, I'm repeating exactly what this reporter and what the officer said in that recent live, and what he's basically saying again right now, is that 3 adults have been shot, lost their lives, 3 children also as well. The suspect also lost their life as well after opening fire on police. So it was an unaliving by police. Okay. They went up. This shooter, this monster, was female. They're saying from the looks of this female, she looks like she was a teenager. But you never know. There's a lot of people out here that look young and are actually older. So we'll find out more information. They have not identified this woman as of yet. But then again, one of the shocking things, aside from the fact that there are 6 adults and children gone, the one shocking part of it as well that seems a bit off or seems a bit out of the norm. Actually, two things that are kind of out of the norm. One, that it was done in a private school, in a private parochial school. And then on top of it is that this monster was female. I'm going to keep saying this. The times, they are changing. As much as we think, oh, no, no. Danger comes in many shapes and forms. All right. And now we're realizing it can happen in a private school. It can also happen with a female behind the trigger. Just want to reiterate that. There's a lot of evil out here in this world. Let's keep it real. And it doesn't care. It doesn't care if you're a boy or a girl. Male or female. Man or woman. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what race you are. It just doesn't. Or what God or religion or what good book you read out of. It does not matter. It doesn't. Really quick, Avery Shannon, thank you so much for the 20. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for covering this. Prayers to all. Absolutely. I agree 110%. Prayers to every single last one of us. Because it doesn't matter. It's out here, y'all. People are out here up to no good. Seriously, up to seriously no good. Kookie Cat, thank you so much for the £5. How you doing, Kookie? If it can happen in any tiny Amish school, it can happen anyway. And that was back in 2006. Yeah. You're right. Listen, it can happen anywhere. Okay? You could be at a club, at a bar, at a religious gathering, an event celebrating life, celebrating the new year. You could just be walking down the street. You could be in a marathon, for crying out loud. Of all things. And evil strikes. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't care. So we have to be extremely cautious. And then I get it that there are days that you want to throw caution to the wind and just live life and enjoy yourself. It's understandable. But at the same time, we have to be savvy. We have to keep our heads on a swivel now. I'm not saying be paranoid to the point where you have serious anxiety attacks, etc. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying being safe. Jennifer H., thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. As a mom of a second grader, this is my worst fear. You know what? I feel you. I feel you 100%. I feel you 100%. This scares the heck out of me. This scares the heck out of every person that is watching right now. We all feel what you're feeling. Trust me. Okay. It's interesting. And see, like even Sleuthy Goosey, how you doing, sweetheart? She just said there was someone here in WV, or I guess West Virginia, a little while ago, who was standing in the median on the interstate with a rifle and aiming at cars going down the interstate. That's insane, but it happens. But we've seen road rage live. We've seen it on this show. We've covered stories like that multiple times. I don't understand why there's suddenly a lack or care of the value of the human spirit, the value of humans. It just doesn't make any sense. I just don't get it. And I don't understand this new, for the past 2-3 years now, it is just revved up. It's pedal to the metal. They do not care suddenly. I just don't get it. And the thing is, somebody said, okay, Dookie Tooth said, the lack of healthcare is the problem. Well, I mean, if it is healthcare, it really is a lack of mental health care then. I feel like throwing mental in front of healthcare. Mental health care is the problem. Yeah, we could talk about healthcare in general and how much it sucks and all that here in this country. You know, it's ridiculous that somebody has to pay X amount of dollars or pay out of pocket for certain things that should be covered by the government, in my personal opinion, but that's another conversation in itself. But when it comes to healthcare itself, it's still a thing that just doesn't make, it's still a thing. Healthcare, mental health care is still a thing. Yes, it's going on. It's coming back into the positive, and we're now starting to care a little bit more. But there's still a lot of people out here that that are missing the bus. The bus finally arrived, but a lot of them have given up at this point. Finally, they're going, oh, yeah, we care about the well-being of a person's mind. It matters. It matters. It matters. Their mental health matters. Suddenly, we figured out 3 years ago that mental health matters. But now people are sitting here going like, I've been struggling all my life. It's already too late type situation. That's at least what I've been seeing. That's what I've been noticing. But I also think as well, it's way too easy for people to get a hold of an AR-15. And don't get me wrong, I believe in being able to protect yourself. I believe in having your own, I believe in the Second Amendment and all that stuff. I do, to a certain extent. But I think it's also really easy to obtain, for anyone to obtain something that goes bang, bang. And then those same people who have felt ostracized, ignored, etc., for their mental health problems, they quickly resort to grabbing that gun, that weapon, and taking their frustrations out on innocent lives. And I don't know what the heck is going on with this individual, this woman, this particular monster that did what they did. But she is one of many in just this year alone. By the way, we are at the end of March. And we talked about this, I think it was like last month, about the amount of mass tragedies in just the few weeks that we have been in this new year. It's absolutely insane, guys. It's absolutely insane. But it's a harsh truth that we all need to come to terms with. We need to be proactive. There is a need to be proactive, a need for proaction. And there really, really hasn't been. We just keep looking at these things, and I don't mean to say this in a rude way, but we keep looking at this and we are clutching our pearls and saying prayers for such and such. We throw in our hashtags, which is exactly what you're supposed to be doing, because that's the right thing to do. And we all care, and we're all moved by this situation. Okay? But there's got to be more that we need to do. There's got to be more that we can do. And it's also, it's who we elect. It's who we bring into office. It's contacting your local representatives. It's making them aware of things like this and saying this needs to stop. There needs to be new bills passed, needs to be new mandates, new ways of people being able to obtain certain things. And I'm not sitting here saying that that's going to stop everything, that's going to stop these tragedies from happening. But dag nabbit, at least it will slow it down. At least it will slow it down. At least it's something. Again, 6 people, 3 children, and 3 adults have lost their lives by a female monster, guys. Female. Misty Fisher, thank you so much For the 5, no civilian should be able to obtain assault weapons, period. All those types of weapons should be reserved for our military only, in my opinion. You know what? I agree. Again, you can still protect yourself with a pistol, right? You can still have protection of your house and home and your family with other types of weapons and pistols, rifles that are not semi-automatics, etc. You can still have those. That's what I think. But at the same time, these AR-15s are going wild, y'all. She had 2 of them, y'all. Let me repeat that again. She had 2 of them. She had 2 semi-automatic rifles on her possession and a pistol. Come on, guys. That's insane. That's insane. T, you ain't wrong. Shoot. Nowhere is safe, y'all. Nowhere is now. And this should be a huge reminder, a huge wake-up call for every single last one of us, okay? Absolutely. Nowhere is safe now. We don't live in Mayberry, okay, Beaver? This ain't Mayberry. We ain't got the milkman walking down the street delivering things going, howdy. You know what I mean? We don't live in those times anymore, okay? We live in crazy, crazy ass times, y'all.
Who represents the district there, saying, my family and I are devastated by the tragedy that took place at the Covenant School in Nashville this morning. We are sending our thoughts and prayers to the families of those lost. As a father of 3, I am utterly heartbroken by the senseless act of violence. I am closely monitoring the situation and working with local officials. Thank you to the brave first responders who have provided support throughout this tragedy. We're also getting some other updates. This one from Cheryl Crow tweeting out, no words, the Covenant School. Our children deserve better. Praying for all affected. Tragic America. And this coming from country singer Randy Houser. God bless all the parents of children at the Covenant School. Horrific and sickening. This also coming from Carly Pierce, their country singer as well. Pray for Nashville. A shooting at a school has occurred. 3 children dead. Praying for these babies and their families. Absolutely devastating. And now live aerials once again of the investigation, as police will be there all day and all night there as they continue to try to get really a sense there of the senseless shooting. And there's no way to make any sense of this when someone wants to go in and try to create as much carnage as they can, entering a school with 3 weapons on them. As we continue to provide you these updates right here on Live Now from Fox, we bring them to you live, raw, and always unfiltered right here. I'm your host, Mike Page, as we continue to guide you through this very, very tragic episode coming out of Nashville. Want to continue to play out some more sound from people that are in the community and hearing this news right now here on Live Now from Fox.
In DON.
And you live right here?
Yeah, I live here at Georgetown, 5.5 years.
So can you just kind of describe to us what you heard, saw?
Yeah, so I was out back and I just noticed, I'm used to hearing sirens because there's a fire department around the corner, but it's just too many going by. And then I walked out into our little green space and just saw zooming by at the front entrance. I walked out here to go see what's going on, and literally like 20 to 60 cop cars just going by, and then I saw one helicopter hovering above that church up the hill, Presbyterian, and I was just like, this can't be good. It's going to be where it's worse. It's not like an accident or fire. And then came out here, word started coming out about like what's going on, and just seeing the parents over there and coming up and break it down. It's a lot. So you just don't think this happens in your area, and I just feel so badly for those people that were injured, and I just really hope that I'm thankful that the situation's under control, but just a really heartbreaking situation. And I hate that this happened in our town. Something needs to be done about it.
Yeah, I know it's hard, can you describe like just the looks that you saw on the parents' faces?
Yeah, there's one couple running up the hill, and some cop on a motorcycle stopped them, and then the woman, I'm assuming the mother, just doubled over and just hysterics and crying, and they started running off down the hill, got in a random car and took off down Hillsborough Pike. So I don't know what happened there, and then people just walking up the hill, and it's a tough hill to climb, just running out of breath, and then just crying and having to slow down because I can't keep running, but they just kept going. It's just really heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's something you never thought you'd probably see.
No, never in a million years thought that would be this close to me, this close to home. So,
yeah. What message would you like to send to, I guess, the families and the school that's so close to you right here?
We're praying for you. Your city loves you, and we will rally and give you the support that you need. And I'm so sorry. I'll never know what you're going through, but I just pray that their needs are met and that people are there to help them out in this horrible, horrible, dark time.
Yeah, Shondell Brooks.
Shondell Brooks, could you spell that for me?
Yeah, SHAUNDELLE. Brooks, BROOKS.
And you said you have kids who were...
Yeah, my son was killed in a mass shooting at the Waffle House. So every time there's a mass shooting, it triggers something, right? Then you go up to Capitol, you go to state Capitol, and then you testify. So you want to have these weak gun laws that the governor continue to pass. It's ridiculous. And then you get a call today. I got a call earlier today that my son's school's on lockdown. So of course, it triggers something in you.
What school does your son go to?
Hillsborough High School.
When you got that call, what went through your head? You have your son, as you said.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's like all over again. All over again. I'm shaking. I don't even know how I made it down here because you don't know what's going on.
What do you think needs to happen? Do you think this could have been prevented?
I think so. I honestly do. At least let us try. Don't pass laws that are not protecting our children. We're failing our children.
How is your son doing? Who goes to Hillsborough High School? How is he holding up?
He is nervous. I mean, he can't get in or out of the school, so.
Are you keeping up with him by texting
him? I am. Yeah, I just went by the school just to make sure. And he's like, Mom, please don't come over here. There's an active shooter. You don't know, whatever. But how could I not worry?
So what are they telling parents right now just to stay?
Yeah, that they're on lockdown. They're still on lockdown. They're, waiting for, Metro to tell them, what to do.
And, we did get confirmation that right now at least 3 children have died. What do you make of that?
It's sad. It's very sad because I know what those parents are feeling. When you get that call that your child didn't make it or they were one of the victims of a mass shooting, it's the worst feeling ever. It's the most devastating, losing your child. It's devastating. No parent should have to go through this.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to turn the mic off. I did the lot.
All right, so community members reacting here to this very, very senseless shooting playing out there in Nashville. We are going to take our final break here of this hour. Stay right here with us as we are.
Now, again, I can't emphasize it enough how I can only imagine what the families that are hearing about this information, what they're going through, what the families are going through right now. I can only imagine what they're going through. Because again, this is devastating. This is devastating information. Devastating, And the thing is Zebedee just said this. I'm not willing to compromise on weapons. We already have laws in the books or on the books that would work if they were enforced. Okay. I agree. I hear you on the not willing to compromise. And there's a lot of people, of course, that are not willing to compromise as well. I just think that they need to be really on these kinds of laws. I don't think that they're being used. I feel like they're loosely using them instead of actually going after this and really making sure that these laws are actually enforced the right way. They're not. They're absolutely not. So one thing I will say is I agree with you, Zebedee, on a lot of what you just said. But I also think that my song would change if these laws were actually enforced the right way, in the proper way as well. Tyler Hackner, thank you so much for the 2. We had an assault weapons ban in '94, and it expired. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. That's good to know as well. Thank you so much for letting me know that. I got a couple of super chats here. Let me get these really quick. Tyler, again, thank you so much for the 2. Seems like a rinse repeat scenario. Absolutely. This is every week it seems like, y'all. Now it's every week. I've been saying that for like for a year, maybe more. Every time that we go live about something like this, I am so sick and tired of talking about these kinds of tragedies. Real talk. These get old because you're constantly feeling like there should be change, that we should be learning from our mistakes, not the other way, not just letting it keep repeating itself. Now we got kids that have lost their lives again. When is that going to stop, right? Violet, thank you so much for the 10. I was in a prank high school in my state a few years ago that was a public school. I was in a prank. Okay. We need to understand. I was in a prank? I wonder what do you mean by I was in a prank? I was in a prank high school in my state a few years ago that was a public school. We need to understand that females can do this, not just males. This can happen anywhere, public or private. And I agree. I'm with you 100%. And this should also give us a wide open awakening that this can happen in any place, anytime, anywhere, by anyone. But it was interesting that the first report I had, which I'll show you right here, as long as it didn't change, real quick, because there's apparently new information that's come out so far. But they say right here, and let me blow this up so you can see this. They even said it right here. The gunman, unalived by police, he has not been named. He has not been named. Now, I'm assuming if I refresh this will all change. So let's take a look. Yep, even the top, female. Now, the female monster was 28 years old, armed with 2 assault rifles and pistol. Of course, takes the lives of 6 in this Nashville school massacre. 3 children, 3 adults. As we already know that there was an officer that was injured, but he was injured because I guess he cut himself on broken glass, not from an actual bullet from this monster. But this monster is 28 years old. She's not a teenager anymore. She is 28 years old. Now I'm wondering if they actually have the name of this monster. Still, her identity has not yet been confirmed, but police said initially they believed she was a teenager, which we heard. Later, she was confirmed she was 28 years old. Sorry. The small school is run by a church and does not employ a school resource officer, an SRO, as they were asking before. Do you have an SRO? And that's what they meant, a school resource officer, basically on-campus security, okay? And of course, we already saw all these, but parents are getting their kids. And look how terrified he looks, that little boy. All kinds of kids here, scared out of their minds, okay? Understandably. So this is the information that we have so far. So for those y'all who are late to the party, late to this live, I'm just going to give you a quick recap of the information, because obviously the information that I reported first off completely changed after this press conference. Okay, so they said shortly before 10:13 a.m., the woman entered the school through a side door and began opening fire on the second floor. Police arrived at the scene and heard the gunshots coming from the second floor. By 10:27 a.m., she had been unalived by police. She was armed with 2 assault-style rifles and a handgun. So just for those of y'all, because I saw in the comments, some of you guys are saying no, aside from the 2 assault-style rifles, the other weapons she had on her were also automatic. This says differ. This differs that information. Okay, guys? So 2 assault-style rifles and a handgun. Parents have been told to collect their children from a nearby church, but no other information has been given. I know this is probably the worst day of everyone's lives. I can't tell you how sympathetic we are. This is what the MP officer was heard telling the parents as they waited at a nearby church for updates. Neighbors of the school watched as parents frantically rushed to the scene to find their children. Everyone, as a parent, are terrified. Of course, this is just more footage. As you can see, the kids running away to safety. A bunch of uniformed kids running to safety. You don't send your kid to school thinking they're going to be in an active shooting, especially in this area. Just hearing as a parent myself, it's truly overwhelming. Seeing all the parents run up the hill to see if their children are okay. Apparently, this is a witness told the Daily Mail. There are around 33 staff members in the school, and some 200. And I heard 209. This report is saying 210. I'm going to lean on the 209. Okay. Many of the students were seen running from the building today in their school uniforms after school began. Other schools in the area have gone into lockdown as a precaution, but there is no thought to be any additional threat. Parents are now gathering at the church next to the school. Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn was among the first to share her condolences. Okay, so this is the information that we have so far, and of course, we already saw as we saw in that Fox News video, they were saying that there were a bunch of stars starting to say, prayers for Nashville and all that stuff. And let me say this. I'm glad that superstars and musicians and stuff are sitting here going, prayers for Nashville. Hopefully that does something, because let me be real. There have been other tragedies that have gone on countless times over the past few months. For the past 3 months, there have been some serious tragedies from day one of 2023. And I have yet to really see any musicians and stars say, oh, our heart goes out to this tragedy here or this tragedy there, or we need to stop these things from happening. Hashtag, I don't know, hashtag such and such, tragedy. So maybe this will wake some people up to get people together in solidarity to find ways to stop this kind of stuff from happening. It's kind of ridiculous. Shara, thank you so much for the 2. I appreciate it. This feels like order out of chaos for gun control. Yeah. It's like I said, this is crazy that we've had this many things happen in just this year, and we're not really looking at things. Again, I believe every person should have their rights. Absolutely. Okay. Second Amendment all day long. I believe in that too, but there's got to be something. They got to tighten some things. There's just got to be. And again, I'm not sitting here saying that's going to stop things, but it could slow things down. Rosa, thank you so much for the 5. The bad guys will get no matter the law. We need more good guys with the weapons. I agree with that too. I do. I really, really do. It's kind of like I said. We are living in a weird time, a tragically weird time. Okay, so I agree. There's a lot of bad guys out here with that stuff, and there's not enough good guys with them. Let's keep it real. Misty Fisher, thank you so much for the 10. Sadly, those who have bad intentions don't give a flying F about laws. Absolutely. You're right, too. If there's a will, there's most definitely a way. They can always buy it under the table, black market, etc. You're absolutely right with that, too. Like I said, changing the laws and tightening the laws doesn't change anything. It doesn't change everything. But at least it's a step in that direction of trying something. Right now, there is nothing being done. It's just a standstill. It's a stalemate. It's nothing. It's frustrating. These folks are not law-abiding citizens, obviously. Obviously, they're not. But some of them, from what we've learned, were able to, when they turned 18, were able to legally obtain, to buy said rifles, etc. And then they went and did Uvalde, for example. You see what I'm saying? So some of them did it the legal way, which is sad. And some of them, obviously, a lot of them did not. Some of them just took them from their parents, so on and so forth. But I do get what you're saying, though. I'm with you 100% on that. Violet, thank you so much for the 2 prank high school. Prank high school. Oh, prank high school. Oh, wait. No, let me see. That's a new one. I didn't know. I thought it was like a prank. Oh, I see what you're saying. So you used to prank high schools. I see what you're saying. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. And then we just talked about another one where there was a fake mass tragedy call in Colorado, and only to find out that whole thing was one big prank, which is really sad. Zanita on Facebook. Hello, how you doing, sweetheart? Thank you so much for the comment on Facebook. Seeing these tiny kids run away just made this whole thing feel worse. They're just babies. Cry face emoji. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's very, very sad. This is a private school, a private Christian school that unfortunately thought that danger would not come there. I can understand that assumption, but this should be a huge awakening for a lot of schools right now, making them realize or making them see the harsh reality of, hey, we live in some crazy times, and every school could be subjected to this type of carnage. They all have to do this. From the most posh schools out here, okay, from the most expensive upper crust type of schools to whatever, to the most dangerous schools in America. Doesn't matter. Every single school could be subjected to the same type of carnage. And that's why we all need to look at this and embrace it, consume it with our brains and our hearts, and realize that we need to start doing things to protect our kids from this point on. And it does not matter. It does not matter what type of school it is, because we're seeing tragedies everywhere. And the probability of these types of tragedies happening in your neck of the woods, the probabilities are absolutely so high now. So if you have kids if you got kids going to school, they're not homeschooled and whatnot, I say you need to talk to your school officials, the administrators of your school, etc. Bring this up, because the more there is prevention, then there's less tragedy happening. That's what I think. That's what I believe. This is the time to speak up, in my personal opinion. This is the time to start talking. Okay? Start bringing it up, start talking about things, making it aware that you're like, hey, we need to start coming up with something. We need to start talking about these things so this can stop, okay? Now, yeah, it's a church that runs the school. I am Ezekiel. So it's a church that runs a school. It's a school, okay? It's K through 6, 6th grade. It is a school, but it's attached to a church. It's a Christian school. It's a private Christian school. Yes, they do not have an SRO, okay? They did not have a school resource officer. And I feel like, dagnabbit, at this point now, yeah, they are going to have one now. Absolutely. You know, for a fact, every single parent in that school is going to sit there and go, if we have to pay an extra $100 to make sure that there's a budget for security here, and if that's every parent, I'm sure they're going to be willing to cough up $100 to make sure that their kids are safe there. And you know for a fact that that school, the teachers or the staff of that school is going to do everything that they can. I'm still here, guys. They're going to do everything that they can to make sure that they can keep the kids coming back to the school as well. Okay? Let's not get it twisted. They're going to do everything they can and more to make sure that they can keep the kids coming back to that school. So hopefully this changes their ways. Let's play a little bit more of this. Okay? Let's play a little bit more of this, see what he's got to say.
At the Covenant Presbyterian Church here, we are learning that the 3 of them are children and 3 adults killed. The suspect is believed to be a teenager and is confirmed to be a female here. So this is the latest that we are getting our information in from the police right now, and really happening on social media. Countless a number of people are reaching out and putting out their thoughts and really thoughts and prayers at this time, from country singers to politicians. Just want to show you just some of the many tweets that are continuing to come in here at this hour, from, like I said, country singers to politicians, and all trying to make sense of what is happening there, not only in Nashville, but really our country, when school shootings have unfortunately become not a everyday occurrence, but a yearly occurrence, where we are every year continuing. It's
not a yearly occurrence
about shootings.
It is a daily, weekly, it is like a monthly, weekly, daily occurrence. And you know what grinds my gears about this? No disrespect to any of the country singers that are sitting there going, oh, Nashville, praying for Nashville. Absolutely. Yes, pray for Nashville. Pray for these kids. Pray for these families that have been affected. Okay, abso-freaking-lutely. But I'm going to tell you this. There have been so many other tragedies that have happened way before Nashville that these country singers could have said, praying for this school, praying for that school. But they're bringing... I just feel it. I'm sorry. To me, I find it ridiculous. Okay? Yes, this is heartbreaking. I absolutely 110% agree. 110% agree. This is heartbreaking. And yes, prayers to Nashville for sure. But the only time that these country singers give a damn is when it happens in country music's the capital of country music, like the capital city of country music. So suddenly these country singers give a damn now? Do you know how many people have died in the past freaking 3 months? And now you're sitting there going, oh, prayers for Nashville. There have been so many other kids, young kids that have lost their lives, schools that have lost students, families that have lost kids. And now it's, oh, we care. Now we care. Now we need to do something about it, because this is happening. This is happening on country music's Mecca. How dare they? That doesn't make any sense. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. That is just stupid. Give me a break. You. Now, yeah. But if you notice, you could open up Twitter, I'm sure, and it's going to be like crazy right now. Praise for Nashville. All country singers. Y'all give a damn now. Get out of here. Sit down. Sit down. I ain't feeling that. I ain't feeling that. Okay. Let me pause this really quick because I want to hear what press secretary has to say. Okay. But Misty Fisher, thank you so much for the 10. At this point, every daycare school should install metal detectors and have armed folks enforce doors locked during school time. I absolutely agree. Mental health counselors provided for all children. I agree as well. There is so much that needs to be implemented on all schools and daycares because we've been seeing a lot of these things happen. And guess what? This piece of work, this 28-year-old female monster was able to walk into the school. She just opened up a door, any old door, went to the second floor and did the unthinkable. Who's to say any other person, any other monster that's out here plotting, because they all are out here plotting right now, could do the same thing in your school, in your kid's school. Start talking to your administrators, start talking to your schools. Seriously, band together, okay? Because banding together, you guys can make your voices heard. It can't just be one voice. It's got to be all in unison, okay? And this is just for the safety of our own kids, y'all. This is safety for our own kids, period. I'm sorry. You don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not knocking country singers, okay? But now they give a damn because it happened in Nashville when this stuff has been happening for years. Like, for real? Now you're going to do that because it's a good look for you country singers, right? It's a good look. Because, you know, that's where you made your first album. That's where you cut your teeth, right there in Nashville, the mecca of country music. So, but now you gotta say you give a damn about people losing their lives. That's so stupid. I'm sorry. I'm not with it. I am not with it, y'all. Let me play this piece right here. And no, I'm not gonna stop. Okay? I'm not. I'm going to call it like it is. And what I call that, I call BS. All right. Plenty of opportunities for all these people to step forward and say something about all these other places that have lost multiple kids, multiple people's lives, period. Okay. That ain't right. I'm sorry. Bad timing. All right. They had all this time to say so many things. And yes, I get it for them to come together and talk about this. Of course, it's still a tragedy, but you're doing it now. I don't like it. I'm sorry. It does not sit well on my soul. Sorry. That seems like it looks good for them optically, and that's it. But let's continue. Let's take a little bit of this. I want to hear what the press secretary has to say about this situation as well. Let's take a look at this. And I'm still here, guys. Computer tripping or my camera tripping, but I'll be back on in just 2 seconds. All right, let's go. Come on. Come on. Where the heck is it? Come on. Oh, geez. Now it's tripping. Hold on, guys. I'm still here. Let me see what I can do here. Oh, come on. 34. Let me see what I can do. I'm going to try
right there on the scene to provide medical aid to any.
Sorry, guys. 2 seconds. It's coming.
What I'm saying is I don't have anything to preview for you at this time or to lay down of a conversation that he's had recently. What I'm saying is this is something that his administration has taken very seriously over the last 2 years. There's a reason why this is a president that has taken historic actions on executive orders when it comes to gun violence, because he's taken this seriously. I don't have anything to read out to you at this time, but our office, the Office of Leg Affairs, the Domestic Policy Office, these are things that we have taken very, very seriously. I'm going to try and take a question from the back because I know Alex way back there.
Can you discuss what happened with your FAA nominee and what you plan to do next? I mean, obviously there have been some high-profile incidents and people are concerned about the safety of our commercial aviation system. So what's next?
So FAA needs a confirmed administrator, period. Like that's what they need. That's what the country and Americans deserve. Phil Washington had the right qualifications and experience for this role. A couple of things that you've heard me talk about and you've heard us talk about more broadly. He's led the Denver International Airport, one of the busiest airports in the world, managed large safety focused transportation agencies, and served as command sergeant major in the military. This was a veteran of the military. This was a veteran. And, there were games that we played on, an onslaught of unfounded Republican attacks on Mr. Washington, on his service, his experience, and which irresponsibly delayed the process. So including threatening unnecessary procedural hurdles on the Senate floor. That's what was happening. And so, Senate Republicans' month-long relentless campaign to sink the nomination of a qualified, again, military veteran. Our administration believes that his service in uniform is an asset. That should have been an asset. So again, we respect Mr. Washington's decision and are grateful for the time he dedicated to this process and continued commitment to public service. But again, the FAA needs a confirmed administrator here. Christian, go ahead. I know.
Thanks. I wanted to ask about this SBA roundtable coming up. There's been critiques from Republicans that the administration.
Okay, we're gonna continue on here. Let me keep going here. Misty Fisher, thank you so much for the 10. Pascal, Katy Perry, did speak about this a few weeks ago, and that's great. That's great. I don't consider her a country singer, but I do see what you're saying here. Please look it up on YouTube. A contestant spoke about his experience during a school tragedy. Yes, I do remember that. It was on American Idol or something like that. Obviously there are going to be certain stars that do talk about things like this from time to time. But like I said, it just seems weird. I just find it strange that suddenly there are so many people that have lost their lives over the past few months. And now it's just because it's Nashville. I just find that strange. Again, still a tragedy, still needs to be looked at and still needs to be hashtagged and still needs to be brought up, still needs to be talked about without a shadow of a doubt. But I do think it's very strange. Like there's been plenty of other opportunities to speak out about how things need to change with all these other tragedies that have happened in the past 3 months, y'all. Okay. Charlie Miller, what's up, man? Thank you so much for the 2. Another one. What the hell? Absolutely, man. Another one. Yes, another one. I'm shocked as much as anybody else, but then not shocked at the same damn time. All right. Angie G, thank you so much for the 2. Another media briefing in 10 to 15 minutes. And you put this up on a little bit ago. Okay. I'll keep an eye on it. Okay. I will keep an eye on it for sure. Hopefully I will be on when that goes down. Okay. Mary P, let's see, 100%. All those things can be true at the same time. Exactly. See what I'm saying? And I see some people trying to come at me and I'm like, yo, chill out. Because for a fact that I got a point. For a fact I got a point. So don't come at me. I don't want no smoke and I don't want no drama. I'm just speaking the facts. And the facts are there's got to be a way that we all talk about these things more than just because it happened in your neck of the woods. There was a tragedy, a school tragedy that happened in my neck of the woods. But guess what? I was still talking about these kinds of tragedies way before that happened. I was still talking about those things. I was still posting those things. I was still bringing light on how we need to bring safety to our children. I didn't just pick to talk about that tragedy because it just happened to be 20 minutes away from my home. You see what I'm saying? You can't just pick and choose. You got to talk about them all. Bring it up. Talk about it. If it really does matter to you, you got to talk about them all. This is why I'm here live right now, talking about another tragedy. You think I want to be talking about this tragedy right now? No. I don't enjoy talking about these things. I don't. But I bring them up because it matters. Because at some point, me, other people that talk about it on their platforms, the news, etc., maybe we can reach out to the parents, the people that make the laws, the people that make the decisions, whether to put locks on doors on their schools, or metal detectors, or a school resource officer in their school as well. Oh, also, let's not forget the person who's deciding to pick up the gun and walk into a school and cause another tragedy. Maybe we can help prevent that from happening too. So I'm going to keep on talking about these things until I'm blue in the face, until things start to change. I will not apologize ever when it comes to kids, ever, about the safety of our kids. I will not apologize. Not ever. I'm sorry. I will not. Okay? I will not. And you will never see me go, oh, hashtag F that. Okay? Suddenly, because it's in my neck of the woods. Nah, I'm going to talk about it on every single occasion that I can physically do. Because I know that it's doing the greater good for all of us. Not because it just looks optically good for me and my fans. Okay? I will not do that. All right? So if you got that kind of mess for me, take it somewhere else. Thank you. God bless. Moving on. So the thing is we have all this that's going on. And the thing is we're still waiting for more information. Obviously, the information that we have right now is pretty definitive. We have 6 people who have lost their lives, 3 adults and 3 students. And of course, the monster themselves that lost their life due to police gunfire or police fire. Okay. So we have 7 people that have lost their lives. Okay. 7. I just hope at some point this stuff starts to stop. But we have really got to start doing some more things in our schools. And I'm not sitting here trying to go after this school itself. Never. I can only imagine how much it would cost for certain things like metal detectors or even locks. I don't know how much locks are for doors or anything of that sort. And especially when you're putting them on every single door, that's a lot. Okay. That's a lot of money. I can only imagine. And you got a 209 student body. So it's not like they have a buttload of money in their budget, I can only imagine. And maybe they were doing some things or maybe making some actions towards being able to have those certain securities implemented in the school. But obviously it didn't happen fast enough. Unfortunately, it didn't happen fast enough. But from what we know so far, this monster was able to walk into that school very easily just by opening up a door. That should be a huge wake-up call for so many schools that are out here that have no security whatsoever. This is why I'm talking about this, in hopes that this will wake everybody up, all of us, all of our parents, all of our school administrators, staff, faculty, whatever, to look at this situation and go to your own schools and start asking the right questions and putting down the right demands so that we can make the right moves so we can save more lives. Unfortunately, maybe there was something that could have happened or could have been put into that school to stop this monster from being able to at least walk into this school with such ease. You heard from that officer. You heard from that officer, okay? You heard from this individual. He came up and said, she just walked right in the school with ease. No issues, no problems, no nothing, okay? Mercedes, thank you so much for the $10 super sticker, okay? With ease, y'all. That should say something for all of us. Go to your schools. Bring up the right questions. Start putting your foot down as a school, as parents, in unison. Figure it out. If it's a budget thing, figure it out. That's it. Okay? Sunita, thank you. Thanks for putting your heart into everything you cover for us, Pascal. I hope you keep your cup filled and overflowing. I try to keep my mind happy. I do. But, I don't like it when for a fact I come here with good intentions, with my heart filled with love and passion for human life, especially for our kids. I will not be attacked. I will not stand for it. I will not. Okay? I will not. So let me play a little bit of this because I know that there's going to be another press briefing here in a second or in a little bit here, but let me play a little bit of this for you guys so that you guys can hear what they got to say here, okay? Same thing that we heard before, but I'm going to play one more time. Then we got another one, though. We got another press briefing here shortly, so let's get into it.
Rescue Task Force response to go in alongside of MNPD response. Our crews were right there on the scene to provide medical aid to any survivors, but also be there for victims so that we could try life-saving efforts in this case. So we went in as soon as it was safe for our responders to do so, to try to provide life-saving efforts for those that were impacted by this incident and this tragedy. Our crews were able to be on scene to pull out those that had viable signs of life, those that were still showing the option to be saved. And we did make transport of 3 individuals and 3 children, and then 2 adults that were taken from the scene. Our crews then set up a reunification unit. That reunification unit is at 2100 Woodmont Boulevard. That's where parents can go to be reunited with their children. All of the remaining students were able to be escorted out of the building with faculty and staff. We're not sure about the processes that they had in place, but we were on scene to help them mitigate anyone from seeing exactly what else was going on, but we're sure that they heard the chaos that was surrounding this. So we do have mental health specialists and professionals that are at that reunification site for both the students and the families that are going to be affected by this today. Our OEM units were able to provide buses to make transport from the Covenant School to the reunification site. We had one bus that carried 74 students and faculty staff members to the reunification site, and an additional bus that had 34 students on them. So all of those persons were carried. It was difficult for us to kind of identify who was just there as part of staff for the church versus who was there for the school, because it's all housed in one building. But at this time, we were able to get that number of persons transported out of the building and into that reunification site. So that is where parents can go to be reunited with their students. There is a hotline being set up for parents to call, but right now that is where they should go, 2100 Woodmont Boulevard, which is Woodmont Baptist Church. Additionally, we do have a debriefing site set up for on-staff or personnel who are working this incident, and there are mental health professionals set up there for them as well. There was one police officer that was injured with a hand injury as a result of making an attack on this incident. But other than that, there have been no additional injuries to first responders or personnel responding to this. And as Don mentioned earlier, we will have further updates coming later on in the afternoon.
So on a typical day, there would be about 209 students inside the school and approximately 40 to 50 staff members, about 42 staff members. I'll take just a couple of questions before we go back.
Clear. So the 7 dead, and then the nature of injuries, how many injured do you know? That maybe are being treated still, or injuries? I know first responders weren't.
An officer had a wound from cut glass. That is the only other injury that I'm aware of. The 3 students are deceased. The 3 students who were shot are deceased. 3 staff members who were shot are deceased. That's a total of 6 victims. And then you have the shooter who was engaged by 2 of our police officers, part of a 5-member team, and she is deceased for a total of 7 individuals. There are no other gunshot victims, non-lethal, that I'm aware of at present.
Do you know how many people were shot? Do you know how many people were shot before the police engaged the shooter?
No.
Do you know if they shot anyone after they engaged the shooter? Do you know if the shooter was able to shoot anyone else?
What?
He doesn't even want to answer that.
Not know who she is at this juncture. We're trying.
Now, we already know all this stuff here. I'm waiting for the other press conference. I'm going to try to look it up. This is obviously a few minutes behind. I'm going to see if looks like the president is going to is speaking or was speaking here in just a little bit. I'm going to get to that here in just a second. But Misty, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I really do appreciate it. I personally want to thank. I personally pray for. I personally pray more people with these type of platforms speak out on these issues like you do, Pascal. Thank you for such a sweet heart and soul. Well, thank you. And I know that there's other people that are talking about this. I'm not the only one. And also the comment that I posted. Yeah, I could be doing the Gwyneth Paltrow skiing thing, but no offense, I'm not interested in it. To be completely honest, I'm not interested in it. So I'm not covering that because I have no interest in it. And I also wanted to talk about other stories that I think matter, I feel matter to me or should matter, I feel should matter to everybody else. Now, if another platform wants to do those, to cover that case or that trial, by all means, do their thing. I'm not throwing any shade on any other platform that's doing those, that's covering that case, because there's a lot of people covering that case. It just doesn't interest me. It just doesn't interest me at all, So, and I'll wait till the verdict. And then, of course, I'll be like, oh, yeah, she was found liable or she was not found, liable. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? So it is happening allegedly now, according to Pepper. Let me see what happens. Let's see. Let's see if it's if Fox is still staying on this. Hold on.
Remarks talking about that shooting in Nashville. Of course, we're following it very closely here on Live Now from Fox. We just saw officials step to the podium once more out of Nashville, Tennessee. As we do know, 3 children, 3 adults dead, including also the suspect, a 28-year-old woman from Nashville. Let's listen in to see if they have any more updates from this tragedy from earlier today.
Okay. New one. New one, guys. This is the new one. Let's go. Please hit that like button down below. Thank you. And don't forget to subscribe.
This is our second briefing on this active shooter situation. Speaking to you at this point will be Nashville Chief of Police John Drake, the Director of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation David Roush, Nashville District Attorney Glenn Funk, and then Nashville Fire Director Chief William Swan. Again, this is the second briefing. There will be other briefings to be held here in the same spot later this afternoon. We'll continue to brief throughout the rest of the day. Chief Drake.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you all for being here on this very unfortunate situation. My heart and prayers go out to the families of the 6 people who were tragically injured. What I know at this point is at 10:13 today, our officers responded to a shots fired call to Covenant School. It's a church school. Officers immediately responded. A team of 5 immediately went in the school, went to where gunshots were being heard, and engaged the suspect. We have identified the suspect right now, tentatively a 28-year-old female white. We know the address of that person as well, and so we have some ongoing investigations as to that. We have 3 adult victims, and we have 3 children who have been identified and their families have been contacted. Right now, I will refrain from saying the ages, other than to say I was literally moved to tears to see this and the kids as they were being ushered out of the building. I want to say thanks to all of our partners, to the FBI, to the ATF, and other federal partners, to the THP, Tennessee Highway Patrol, the TBI, the District Attorney, and to the Fire Department, who all came together and seamlessly addressed this situation as quickly as possible. I've already gotten a request from the national media about a great response. We're still assessing that as well. But what I can say, and what I've said before, is that whenever I hope that we would never have this situation, that if we ever did, we would not wait. We would immediately go in and we would immediately engage the person perpetrating this horrible crime. And so that's all I can say. Right now we have David Roush, Director of the TBI, who will come out to me to address his portion. And then we have others that will say something as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Again, I want to echo what Chief has said in reference to the great support and the great teamwork that has been taking place here, as well as sending our heartfelt prayers to the families, to this community of these victims. Now, I know there'll be people who want to criticize us for prayers, but that's the way we do that in the South, right? We believe in prayer and we believe in the power of prayer. And so our prayers go out to these families. The role of the TBI in this investigation is we have been asked by General Funk to assist in the officer-involved portion of this incident. So the incident where the officers engaged the suspect, we are assisting the Metro investigation. And the reason we've got Metro doing the primary investigation is because it was a fluid scene. So there wasn't a single stop in the action. So as they investigate the homicides, then we felt it was most appropriate.
You're listening into this update here in Nashville, Tennessee. Some of you are going to see your final 2-minute break of this hour
on the officer involved situation. And so that will be.
What the hell? What the hell? What was that? Why did they just do that? What the hell is that, y'all? That was stupid. Why did they do that? Why? That was whack, y'all. What the hell? Okay. So now I got to go and find another one then? What the hell was that? What was that, y'all? Like right when all the things mattered, like right when they were starting to tell us some stuff. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of going back to where that guy was because I found another spot that has it, that has the daggone thing, but that was stupid. What the hell was that? It was, right, Roger? It's like, need to go to weather. Din. Like, they were giving us the information. Y'all dumb. Y'all stupid. My Lord. Like, and we out. Hopefully this will work. Hold on, guys. Let's go. Come on now.
Female white.
Let's go, baby. Sorry about this, guys. That's ridiculous. This thing just is acting up. Son of a...
At one point, she was.
Come on, man. Hold on, guys. This thing is not. There we go.
Hats off.
Hold on. It's starting to work. It's starting to work. I don't know why it's tripping like this right now. Come on. There we go. There we go.
Also want to thank Chief Swan and our federal partners as well. While I cannot comment about the ongoing nature of the investigation, really impressed with the work that's being done by law enforcement.
Man.
Yes, good afternoon. First, let me just say, as everyone else, what a tragic day here in Nashville. So our hearts and our prayers do go out to all the family members and also the first responders that actually made this call. As always, the fire department and Office of Emergency Management, our job is to support. And we were here at the beginning and we'll be here to the end. We just ask that everyone, again, as we said earlier about prayer, we ask for that. And the ongoing support that's needed from our standpoint is to give support in any area that's asked for on the scene. So again, we thank you. And from this point forward, we'll just continue on with our mission and try to bring some type of closure and resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
I anticipate there will be another briefing at or before 4 o'clock. We will entertain 2 or 3 questions at this moment before these gentlemen have to go back to the scene to continue their work.
Chief, you identified, did you identify the shooter in this case yet?
Yes, we have identified the suspect. It's a 28-year-old female white, actually a Nashvilleian or lives in the Nashville area. We are having an
Unbelievable.
ongoing investigation as it pertains to her at this time.
Located her place of where she lived. You have officers there.
We have.
Was she wearing body armor?
Was she wearing body armor? I can't say that far into the investigation. I don't remember seeing it, but I can't say for certain if she had body armor on or not.
Did she have any connection with the church?
From my initial findings is that at one point she was a student at that school, but unsure what year, all of that. But that's what I've been told so far.
Did she give any word on social media, or has her social media been examined at this point?
The investigations are still ongoing at this point. Our federal partners, our state partners, we're all looking into that to see exactly. This is still fluid at the time, but we're looking at everything.
Did anybody pull the fire alarm? We know.
Don't remember a fire alarm going out. I was told there were kids that evacuated into a wood line, had the presence of mind to do that, and to go to a fire hall. Once we arrived on scene, we had everyone moved to First Baptist Church, Woodmont, and that way we could get parents and children reunited, and then ultimately make the notification on the 3 kids.
Do we know yet if the side door she entered in was locked or not?
There was a door that was entered. All doors were locked to our understanding, and how exactly she got in at this point is still under investigation. There is a vehicle that was nearby that gave us clues as into who she was, and but as stated, that investigation is still ongoing.
Did the school have school shooter protocol?
They did have protocol. To my understanding, we had, unfortunately, 3 kids that were tragically hurt. It could have been far worse.
Okay, folks, we'll be back again before 4 o'clock. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Man, oh man. I mean, I can only imagine. I mean, you know, especially that officer who spoke out first, just giving us the details and everything. It's pretty wild to think that for someone who has seen all kinds of things, for someone who has seen all kinds of tragedies, you know, you name it. If you're in the line of duty, you've seen it, you've been there, done that. The fact that he was still that moved, and for someone who is a veteran in his own right, it says a lot on how he was reacting and how affected he was about this. And I mean, you know, and I think there's nothing that can prepare you for tragedies when it comes to little kids, right? Nothing can prepare you for that. It doesn't matter how much carnage you've seen, it still hits the same. Again, my heart and prayers go out to the families, to the school itself, and everybody who's affected, because this is not only just a national thing. This is an international story. We're all affected by this news. We're all affected by this. It's devastating to think that this has even happened. Now, apparently, they're going to be doing another press briefing at around 4 o'clock. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be on at that time. I have to wrap up the show, unfortunately. But nonetheless, it's still extremely devastating information here. This has got to be, I feel like this should be the rude awakening. I'm hoping that this could be the rude awakening that our country needs and other countries, the world needs, that we need to look into this situation and see what's really going on. Now, before we get going, okay, you know, I'm going to see if they have any more information about the actual monster themselves. because there's some information that people are saying that there's a lot of speculation and rumors that are being said out here. And real quick, this is crazy. Tyler Hackner has just said 129 tragedies. And you're saying within this year, right? Within this year alone. Because I remember when it was like near the end of January, there was another tragedy that we were talking about, another mass tragedy that we were talking about. And it was about 70 something. It was like 72, 73 mass tragedies. Now we're looking at another one added to this list. And there's been 129 tragedies. That's insane, y'all. That's absolutely insane. That's absolutely insane. Great White, you never know. Cops could be getting rid of her social media before naming her. You never know. That could very well be it too. I'm hearing some crazy stories like on these chats that are going through. People are saying that, of course, she's a 28-year-old white female. Some are trying to say that about her religion, etc. I don't know if that's all true or not. Okay. There is a lot that's going on here. The world needs to wake up. This country needs to wake up. And I'm hoping, man, I keep saying this all the time, but we've had 129 attacks in just this year alone. And we are going into April. March is almost over. We're marching into April, okay? And we've already had this many tragedies. 129 tragedies, according to what our brother Tyler just gave to us. In just 3 months. That's insane, y'all. Tyler also said, consider that stat I just brought up and really think, are we actually going to do anything? That's a very good question, Tyler. I'd like to ask all y'all that question. Are we really going to do anything? This is the reason why I do these shows. This is the reason why I bring up these tragedies. I don't care if they get shadow banned or if they get put out there for everyone to consume and really watch with their eyeballs. I care. Well, sorry. I care that they get to the right people and to the right eyes to spark up the right conversations. That's why these happen. That's why it needs to be out here. Okay. J-Con, right? Shorter. Thank you so much for the comment. Said police believe the monster was once a student at Covenant School, according to CNN. Well, we'll see if that's actually 100% true or not. Actually, let me pull up because I just saw this article from CNN. Let me pull this up for you guys here real quick. Hold on. Whoops. So, of course, we already know about the total of souls that have left this planet today. Okay. But let's see what they say in here. Come on. And this is from CNN, so, take it with a grain of salt, y'all, okay? I know some of y'all don't like it, but it is what it is. We got to get into this story. So, okay, so, hold on, let me see if they, yep. 3 minutes ago, police believe the monster, this woman, was once a student at Covenant School. So the 29-year-old monster who took the lives of 6 people at a private school in Nashville was once a student. Was once a student. See, now they say believe that she once went to that school. They are saying she was once a student at the school, according to initial findings from police. At a Monday press conference, Metro Nashville Police Chief John Drake said, from my initial findings, at one point, she was a student at the school. Now, I didn't hear that, and that might have been cut out from what we from what we covered, when we were watching it and they went, they just went the weather or some crap. I don't know what the heck happened. And when I went to go through to find the live, they may have said that during that time, which is absolute trash. But that is a very interesting finding if that is true. Okay. She must have had some huge aggression towards that school for whatever reason. She could have been bullied, etc., and felt like this was the start of her hell on earth. Maybe, I don't know. But they're saying from my initial from the chief, the Metro Nashville police chief, John Drake, he says from my initial findings, at one point she was a student at that school. He added he was unaware, he was unsure what year she attended the school. Drake did not give the woman's name and said the investigation was ongoing. He said police have identified where she lived in Nashville. So we already saw that part. And I'm assuming when they asked, did she go over there? Or did police go over there to check the house or check her private domicile to see if there's maybe a manifesto, maybe there's more information, maybe the place is rigged. You never know, right? So I'm sure they're going and doing a very, very big deep dive into her and her life and what they find inside of her home. But if it is true that she used to matriculate there as a kid, that is some crazy stuff. And it does make you wonder why she did this. Why was this school targeted in this manner? And why these kids? Was she just going in there? If she really did matriculate at this school when she was a kid, was she going after a certain teacher, a certain priest? You never know. But it does make you wonder why she targeted this school and this school alone. Let's continue. And, and maybe the findings that they find in her house, maybe there's something bigger she had planned, or maybe she had plans for only one or two of the staff members. God only knows. But hopefully we'll find out more information with what they find inside that house. Drake did not give the woman's name and said the investigation is ongoing. And of course, we said that she lived in Nashville. So she is from Nashville as well. There was a car nearby that gave us clues into who she was. He added, the monster, this woman, was unalived by police after fatally attacking 3 adults and 3 children at Covenant School this morning. So we will find out what's going on. Now, of course, this is what Biden has said. Biden calls on Congress to pass assault weapons ban following Nashville on a tragedy. Now, here it is. If that actually happens, that'll be a surprise. I'll be really honest. That would be a very big surprise. But I'm hoping that finally, after 129 tragedies, again, 129 tragedies since the turn of the new year. You'd think that by the 129th, they start going, yeah, maybe there is a problem going on out here in these streets, and maybe we need to start looking into finding ways to slow things down. So, hey, if this, please, let's make something happen. Let's do something. Do something. Because the next one's coming sooner than you think. Anyway, I need to go. I need to go blow off some steam, y'all. But my heart, my thoughts, my prayers, everything, all my energy goes out to every single last one of those families who have lost their loved ones or who are going through this tragedy, because it doesn't only affect the ones that they have lost. It also affects all those kids and all those faculty members that were there, that were literally a hair away from losing their lives. And let me say this too, shout out to the Metro Nashville Police Department for their swift action. Because without MNPD getting in there and doing the opposite of what Uvalde police did, we would have had a much bigger tragedy on our hands, y'all. We would have had a much bigger tragedy on our hands. So I have to say, shout out to the MNPD, because without that, man, we would have been having some bad situations, y'all. But again, when we get more information, you know for a fact, I will be up here to give you guys the updates as soon as we get them. But unfortunately, I have to hop off because I got things to do and I need to blow off some steam, y'all. But again, we live in some crazy times and it's becoming Wild Wild West, but it's being Wild Wild West in our schools, at our malls, at public outings. It's bad. It's getting really, really bad, y'all. So if they do something about this, it'll be a miracle. If we can see Republicans and Democrats shaking hands from across the aisle to stop something like this from happening again and again and again, it would be an amazing thing. It would really be an amazing thing. And I'm here for it. If we can come together politically and find happy ground so that we can save more lives, that would be amazing. Anyway, Berenice, thank you so much for Berenice Rivas. Thank you so much for the $20 super sticker. I really do appreciate it. All right. I appreciate you guys listening to me, hearing me out and all that stuff. This stuff just really burns my cookies. And we need to stop this. We need to figure things out quickly. Okay. We need to save more lives. We need to keep more lives on this planet. Anyway, guys, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Please do not forget to do that. I really appreciate it. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button. All right. Oh, and also hit that join button down below if you appreciate my coverage, my passion, my fiery passion. If you appreciate it, don't forget to hit that join button down below and help support this channel because these purple lights don't pay themselves. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all. All right. It's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Stay safe out there, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.